Chauntoria. Business corner. Oh, oops. Shout out to Miss Tamika Bankston. She made these earrings. She gave me this pair. This is a special guest now asking me where I am. He gonna be out there like, what are you doing? Where have you been? Where have you been? I'm catching every light. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Not on camera. We working on this camera setup. Technical difficulties. This is saddening me. So at this point, y'all, I just decided to hold the camera because it fell 4 more times. Everyone, let's welcome EJ Thomas to the show.
What up?
I'm so glad that you're here. It's usually just me on this thing. Everybody, this is
EJ, aka Mr. Conversation, aka your baby mama's favorite podcaster.
I didn't know that part, but okay. I gotta talk to my baby mama about that.
If you don't believe it, ask her. Check them DMs.
Okay.
Okay.
Arissa, I'm gonna be calling you tonight.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Get this thing started. How's your day been?
I've had a great day. I had a couple of business meetings. I'm about to get some stuff planned for some events coming up. So I'm very excited. Warehouse 9 and a couple other things that I can't talk about right now, but we got some things coming up.
Yeah, I love it. So, about Warehouse 9, I've never been, but that's like, for me, that's one of my one of the venues on my list.
Shout out to Chef Derek.
Yes, Chef Derek. I was going to say he actually invited me to perform. He told me just to get a band together, and what have I done?
You need to get that band together.
I need to get the band back together. So y'all hear that? Okay. If you want to be in my band, you want to be on the squad, you want to perform at Warehouse 9, I don't.
Hey,
DM me.
Y'all know my peoples. Y'all know. She can sing, so y'all get together and put something together.
So yesterday when we were talking, you told me that you actually have a favorite song, and I think this is it right here. So let me put it on.
I told you my favorite song was yesterday.
I have good memory when I write stuff down, and I wrote it down, so I remember what it is. You shouldn't have said it was your favorite song, because if it wasn't, if it's not, this is gonna be awkward. So this better be it.
Okay, so this is Stevie Wonder, All I Do. However, I was talking about Trey Merritt's
Version
of All I Do that he has done.
Shout out to Trey Merritt. It was so great meeting him. So great meeting him. Around this time last year, we got to sit down and do a few, not originals, but we did a few cover songs together, and that was really fun.
Yeah, he was my pick for my birthday party 2 years ago at the Suite.
Oh, really?
And he was, he did my birthday party, was the live music. I greatly enjoy him as a musician, as an entertainer. He's fire.
Okay, so that means, so we're not gonna sing this song.
No, we're not gonna sing this.
I had it all visualized. It was a vision in my mind. So can we just like, I don't know.
We can bop the head, you know.
We ain't even gotta do this no more. Just cut it all out. So you gotta tell me another song, so later on our way back we can at least jam to something.
Okay, no problem. I'm a genre guy, so I'm gonna tell you right now, a song that I listen to don't, but I'm into Maroon 5.
Me too.
And my favorite song from them was their first smash hit,
Tap on my window.
This Love.
This
love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before. Her heart is breaking in front of me. And I have no choice, so I won't say goodbye anymore. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, that is my song right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I like a little, little soft rock from time to time.
Yes. So, from what it seems, there is more to EJ that meets the eye.
Yeah, a lot of people, they see a big burly black man with a beard and they make a lot of assumptions and stuff, but I'm versatile. I come from a background where I've had to always grind and had to be strong and do a lot. So I picked up a lot of things in different places, being a military brat. So from my musical taste to what I've done all throughout my career in entertainment, I've had to go from one spectrum to another. So I don't just subscribe to, I'm not just a hip hop head. I love classical music. I love all types of genres that I play on the radio and different things. And that comes out in the way that I talk and different things as Mr. Conversation.
Yeah, so you're a cultured gentleman.
I try to be as close to modern day Renaissance man as possible.
Okay. So who is, you keep mentioning Mr. Conversation. I know EJ Thomas. So who is Mr. Conversation?
So that's my radio personality, Mr. Conversation, and podcast personality that I've been running with for the last couple of years. I'm just a person that enjoys talking with people, having different conversations, and I just started being known as, hey man, you got good conversational skills, like to converse a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Conversation just kind of stuck, especially once I got with mainstream local radio, where you kind of want a moniker.
Yeah,
and that
definitely.
really was something to stick with for that.
Yeah, that's what's up. I definitely caught on to the fact that you are a conversationalist just from talking to you myself. Like when we were preparing for this, we spoke on the phone for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
and
quick too. Just like
it didn't seem like it was 2 hours. It was some good conversation. I heard you were a CNA.
Okay, so
certified nurse's assistant?
No, that's not where CNA comes from.
Okay.
So one of my first public speaking gigs, I started off doing cons, which conventions where you talk about comic books, anime, movies, TV, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And CNA, the group was called CNA, which was Complete Nerd Authority. We were just guys that were, unabashed nerds, and we was known to know what the hell we talking about.
So y'all weren't shy about being.
But we had some swag. We was nerds with swagger. That was another kind of moniker we went with.
Nerds with swagger.
We were the rock star nerds. You know what I mean? The popular nerds.
Okay.
Back in school, I was an athlete as well as a nerd. So I played chess, but was on football and basketball teams and track and stuff like that. So I've always had that duality with me. So I carried it there. Being one, a nerd, but I'm also can still be cool and can still be out about in the city and having fun and doing things like that. And it worked out well because when we first started doing it, that was kind of the transition. And when pop culture is kind of taking such a grip on society now, pop culture is very important now.
Mm-hmm.
TV and anime and things like that are now more accepted now than they were back when we were kids.
Yeah,
especially my
so.
demographic.
Yeah. Okay. So, let me see. So you're an anime head.
Yes.
What's your favorite anime?
Unabashed. Yu Yu Hakusho is probably my go-to. Shout out to Yusuke, my boy, Kuwabara, Hiei. Hiei is my favorite character of all time.
Can you shout out characters? They're not real.
Hey man, they're real to me.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
that was disrespectful. They are very real.
Real to me.
Okay.
Don't you got a cat named after somebody?
Matsumoto.
Okay, so hey, they get in our lives and just the names and things like that.
Yeah. Matsumoto. I'm gonna show her this part of the video, y'all.
Right now.
Yeah.
That's gonna be your.
That's my Matsumoto bean right there. She's so beautiful, ain't she? Don't be hating. You never had a cat look like this, and that's okay. All right, back to it. So, tell me a little bit about your beginnings with podcasting, radio, and just speaking.
Okay, so public speaking in general, I was always the young man back in church that would have my Easter speech perfect.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, I still
Easter in the air. Hold up.
Go ahead.
Easter, everywhere. I still remember.
Oh.
I still remember to this day. I ain't never forget.
Mine was the stone is rolled away. Behold the empty tomb, where Christ arose in power, displaying doubt and gloom. The stone is rolled away. Behold the angels say, He is not here, but He is risen on this glad resurrection day. And that was since I was 6.
I just want to say, whoever was in charge of passing out the speeches at whoever was in charge of passing out the speeches at my church, we need to talk. Cause why y'all gave me that?
I mean, they put you where they felt you was.
That's not true. I'm gonna be real. That wasn't my speech. That was somebody else's.
Somebody else's.
That was somebody else's.
They gave you happy Easter to everybody?
No.
That's what they gave.
No, they gave me something longer. It wasn't that long, but it wasn't just Easter in the air, Easter everywhere. That's for like the 4-year-olds and below. But I don't remember my speech for real. Back to your public speaking. You was doing it.
It was Sunday school, and then it went from that to I was always talkative. I got in trouble so much in school for talking. Like, that was my main thing. I was pretty cool, but talking is just, I couldn't shut up. You know what I mean? As soon as the teacher stopped talking, I gotta have something going back and forth. So auditory is just something for me. A lot of times, whether if I have to listen to music or I listen to a podcast or something, I rarely wanted to just be quiet even now as a grown man. And that was kind of like my ADHD thing. I needed to always hear some noise. So either I'm gonna make it or somebody gonna make it fun.
There's gonna be some noise going though.
Definitely.
Okay.
So, just get in trouble with that. But guess what, Ma? Now I get paid to do it. So, was a little upset with me back in the day, but guess what?
So when your kids get phone calls from the school and the teacher said they talking too much, tell them he gonna be on the radio one day, so he just practicing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just encourage his conversation. And if them other kids can't keep up, they clearly ain't on his level.
Well, mine is not that. My son's issue is that he wants to be cool and he wants to just follow whatever somebody else is doing. Now, if you want to be the leader, I'm fine with that, but you ain't gonna get in trouble for following, bro. Like, right. I don't know about that. Right. But that wasn't my issue. My issue was I wanted to always be the leader in charge and kind of wanted to take charge of the conversation. And then to push the conversation forward, I went from that, joined the military, and I ended up beating Obama. I gave a Barack Obama presidency.
God dang, I was supposed to ask you about that.
Oh,
well. I gotta mark off these questions on my list.
I mean, it goes right into it, though. And that was my public speaking. That was my first major one in front of hundreds of people on the USS Abraham Lincoln during my time in I think it was about 2010 when this happened. Yeah, because he became the president by 2008. So 2010, he was on USS Abraham Lincoln, and I gave a speech about what it meant to be a sailor, be in the military, and what it meant to be. And standing ovation, and I kind of knew it was something for me then. And they kind of knew because, man, you do all this talking anyway. Like, come on, let's get it.
Yeah.
Then I went from that to CNA. Then I went from CNA to on the local radio, and now I'm in Jonesboro in Fusion Radio doing online radio out there, and the podcast, The Hot Seats.
Okay, yeah, the hot seat. Okay. Hey, can I ask you something off record? Off record. How are we supposed to get through the interview if you telling me the whole timeline, and then we get to the end of the timeline, I ain't got nothing else to ask you, and now we only 5 minutes into the ride, and you done told me everything.
Because it's always more.
So we ain't asking. Okay, tell me a little bit about. I might cut that out, I might not, I don't know. But tell me a little bit about 706.
All right, so 706, I forgot to mention them. That was my first chance on the radio local kind of podcast here in Columbus. I got a chance to work with a gentleman named Frank and a lady named First Lady. That was her moniker because she was the First Lady of 706. And I came in and just was, I pushed the envelope a lot. I was known as Mr. Controversy back then.
Mr. Controversy.
Because I falsely believed at that time that any notoriety was good notoriety. Any press is good press. I do not currently subscribe to that now.
But you were like pro clickbait, pro buzzwords.
So my first ever show was, my opinion piece was child support, a broke bee, hustle, or a means to an end. So yeah. So that was my first thing. And it was done on purpose. And to basically galvanize people, to make them, I don't care if you hate it or you love it. If you're watching it, it's a check on Facebook, on YouTube, or whatever. At the time.
That was your,
yeah.
You were once a boy.
And what I would say is,
and now you're a man.
Well, people still use that. Even current news uses that format. That's
do.
why they talk always about the negative stuff all the time, and the deaths and all that type of stuff, because people
will cling to it.
So yeah, it's still kind of the same type of format. So it's used. However, I try to be more positive now and uplift my community and use my slight viewership that I have to be a help in the community instead of just being just somebody that's out here just wild and saying crazy stuff.
I feel you. I can respect that.
Yes, ma'am.
I can definitely respect that. So, you've already told us about Obama and how he's your best friend.
He's not my best friend, but he did listen to me, and I have shaken his hand. And actually, I missed him the first go around in high school. My JRTC team met him at the Civic Center when he was still a senator.
I was going to say he was senator before he was president, so he's still relevant.
And I missed him to go around because I didn't really like to do the left face, right face stuff and all of that. Like, so when I did those other teams, but I didn't really do drill teams. And at the last moment, they told us we had something to do, and I was like, no, I don't feel like doing it. And exactly where they went was the Civic Center, and he had came down. So I missed him the first time.
But it's okay. You caught him when it was most important.
Yeah, I caught him when I had.
My president is black.
Oh, it's blue.
I be goddamn if my rims ain't too.
Shout out to Jesus.
And we're sorry about your divorce. Moving on.
Are we sorry about his divorce?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one who filed.
Oh.
So, I mean,
is it a congratulations? What y'all be doing nowadays? Y'all know y'all be trying to act like y'all happy at y'all divorce parties, but y'all be crying in the back and in the bathroom and in the corner and at the bar and everything. We be seeing y'all.
Okay, so as a person who has been divorced before, I can tell you that earlier.
I'm sorry.
But not yet. I was like, hey, it is what it is. You know what? That is a great saying for that. I mean, it is what it is. Like, you can't, you know, if things don't work out between you and the person, you don't have all that venom and all that stuff. It's just, okay, let's go our own separate ways and let's be adults about it, and congratulations. You know, it's really, that's the best thing.
As a person who has never been married, I just would like to say I feel like divorce is of the devil. I just feel like, I don't know, I wish that there was more hope for relationships. I feel like I want marriages to last forever. I don't want nobody to go through hell in their relationships, but you know, I just want a relationship. Anyways, moving on. This is not a relationship.
Hold on. Since we here.
Okay.
Since we here.
Okay.
So this is my thing. You should never be with somebody just because you're worried about what happens if you have to leave. And public perception and all that type of stuff. We got to the point where we were toxic to each other. In my situation, where now we're just going tit for tat. Now we're just doing things to be argumentative with each other. And especially my son, my biological son, came from her. And it was like, I don't want him to have to go through that. I want him to see what real love is. I don't want to be in a situation where you see me always arguing, always at it with somebody, never happy.
Yeah.
Because then that's going to pass down that curse to you.
Because you're gonna think that's normal.
Yeah, and I want him to always respect women and be the type of man that, you know, I try to be and that I want him to be. So that was a large portion of it also, because he was so young during that time, but he was getting ready to get older where he would start understanding.
Yeah.
So once you have that first time where you wake him up and you're arguing and he's like confused, that was like the biggest catalyst that where I was like, yeah, it's time to go. So definitely.
That's mature.
It's a hard thing, man, and we ended up, she went to another state, and then we took a couple of years to actually for everything to go through. But I found my wife that I'm with now. We have a happy family, blended family, and that's the main thing. And I found happiness, and now I've been married with her over 8 years now. Ups and downs and things like that, but you always know that person loves you at the end of the day.
Yeah, and you can tell. You can tell because when you cry, they don't look at you like you're annoying the fuck out of them and then turn up the TV. That's never happened to me personally.
Never that.
But, you know.
I don't get too emotional too much, so when I do, it's kind of like respected, like, wait, something's going on. Like,
yeah.
You and your feelings, bro? Like, hold on. Wait.
Like, let me listen. Let me see what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you used to wake up and choose violence, or like, is that?
I used to be a different person than I am now.
That's what I was saying. Born again?
It's not about being born again, but you become more mature as you get older, and you realize you don't. Again, I don't want my kids to have to go through some of the things that I went through, and I've always lived my life as I'm trying not to put that trauma on them, because I dealt with a lot of trauma when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. So let's say you had the chance. You always have the chance, honestly, because our inner child never dies. It's always with us. We just some big ass kids, all of us. So, what do you think you would tell baby EJ right now?
Baby EJ? Well, I need to know what periods, because different things I'm gonna say at different periods.
Just the part of you that I guess you would feel is most connected to who you are. Because there's a part of our childhood that I feel we have more connection to as adults.
Okay, so if I'm going to do the cheat way, I'm going to just say, talk to my 18-year-old self and say, hey, look, that's not going to be the right relationship for you. Don't go that way. That's the cheat way. If I'm going to really dig down into the emotions and stuff, I'm going to tell myself that just because she hits you doesn't mean that you ain't shit. Just because she doesn't love you does not mean that you're not shit. I dealt with a lot of physical trauma from my mother, and a lot of over more than just like whoopings, you know, but I dealt with a lot of abuse, and physical as well as mental abuse. And I would tell myself that you're gonna make it out of this. Don't give up, and understand that you will find somebody that loves you. And that's what I would tell myself. So, and also don't take it out on people with what you've been through. Learn how to channel that anger. It took me a long time to channel that being mad and upset with her, and I took it out on everybody else in the world. So I was a angry black man just going through life, you know, yelling, and the only emotion that I could tap into was anger.
So I think it's good that you're speaking about, I don't know how frequently you do speak about, you know, your childhood traumas, but I think it's good that you're speaking about it, because with talking about it, especially on platforms like this, you're allowing others, you know, to hear and understand that not just that they're not alone, but they understand that they can pass it, they can surpass it, they can grow from it. I know so many people, I have conversations like this all the time. Believe it or not, I'm a Lyft driver, but I talk to everybody. I'm somewhat of a conversationalist myself, and you'd be surprised of the stories that I've heard. I've given teenagers rides home, and they'll tell me about, how they probably gonna sleep on the porch tonight, or here in Columbus at that, or they'll tell me about how they're working on moving out of the house because it's so much chaos, because so and so does this and that, and there's not much that I can do for them except, one, be a listening ear, because sometimes people just need to vent, and two, to to give them the best advice that I can, to remind them that there is some love out here. Not like romantic love, but there are people in the world outside of your family who care about you, even though a lot of times our family will be the ones to try and convince us that no one else in the world is going to love us, and all we have is family, and the only family that we have is the family that will put us through some of the worst conditions. So thank you.
No problem.
So we pulled up to a gas station because.
So we're gonna take a pause, and we'll be right back.
Thank you. Bye.
I just got off the phone with the girl who loves you too. Said you're working on yourself. Is she helping with that too? You gave her the time of day. You told her that you would stay. You made me feel the same.
A little aggressive.
Oh, this is supposed to be like your approachable shirt?
Yeah, exactly.
This shirt's supposed to say like
more warming and embrace, to embrace.
So this morning when you woke up, you was like, I want people to be like,
yeah,
EJ, let me get a hug.
Yeah, exactly. And not be like,
dang,
he might grab my ass. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
That's not what I was thinking.
He actually just wants a hug.
He's so friendly. This is my uncle.
Exactly. Yeah, the uncle doing the barbecue, you know what I'm saying? I just missing the flip flops, you know what I'm saying? Just
yeah. In my family, we would be like, EJ, why you got that on?
In my family, first of all, I got some bad uncles, so I don't know about that. So I don't necessarily want to be the uncle in my family.
Okay, don't be the uncle. Yeah, because my uncle.
I'll be the older cousin.
I had an uncle. I call him an uncle because I don't know who he was, how he was related. He might not have even been related. But my granddad, one of his friends, used to come around with a four-wheeler. I said a four-wheeler. Come around on a four-wheeler with nunchucks. I don't remember this man's name, but he come around with his little nunchucks. Get off his four-wheeler,
in
the middle of the party.
Just Ninja Turtle.
Do
this. Leonardo's the leader with the katanas.
Okay.
Nunchucks. Mikey has a nunchuck. Excuse me.
I thought
Raphael has the size.
It's all right. It's all right.
You know what I'm saying? And then Donatello has the stick.
I want to know what is next. What can we expect without giving us too many spoilers? There might still be some things in the works. What can we expect next from EJ Thomas?
Plenty of hot seat commentary episodes. Plenty of the hot seat coming out. Podcast episodes about to start coming out weekly very, very soon.
How hot does the hot seat get?
So, I guess the hot seat, we call it the hot seat because I started off interviewing some political people, and I kind of made sure that they answered the questions and didn't bullshit around. Don't come up here just trying to get votes.
Okay.
I did a interview with the mayor that was a little spicy at the time, and he was doing some lying, and I kind of made him come back to what he was doing and what he was saying.
You did an interview with what mayor?
What's his name? Oh, Skip to Malou. Whatever.
My darling.
Yeah. So, talking about parks and recs and how he was putting more money to it and opening up the parks and stuff. Then I started naming the parks that have been closed for the last 10 years, and pools that have been closed for the last 5 to 7 years and stuff like that. And, he started kind of fudging. Well, we're going to work on that. That's what you just said, my guy. But you know what? That's how it goes in politics, period. You say what you got to say to try to get the votes
It's a
and to get in. And
Yeah.
once you get in, you probably don't honor 70% of the stuff that you said to get in.
yeah. It's like a very kiss ass type of sport, and then once you get your position, you kind of just become like the abusive boyfriend that said he was gonna give you all this stuff in the beginning, and then he turns around and tells you that it's all in your head. I ain't never say that. Who told you that we was gonna do that? We gotta handle what we gotta handle because this right here is important. And then he try to convince you that something else is important that he thinks is important, and it's really not. It's just he just say it so much that now it's important to you because you know that if you don't talk about it, because he want to talk about it, he want to talk about it all the time, and it can be overwhelming. And that's what it's like to be a politician and to deal with it.
So, gentlemen, if you're watching this, I just want you to know, be on your game. You know what I'm saying? Just be on your game. Because they starting to figure the gaslight stuff out, bro. They starting to figure it out. Too easy now.
Yeah.
See how she just went through the whole A through Z.
Yeah.
Explaining what you're doing and what you're gonna do and why you did what you did. And
Trying to cover it up.
But sometimes y'all be
That's a good
wrong, as a
topic,
matter of
though.
fact, because since we're gonna go here, it's funny how y'all have all this ESP stuff all the time until it's time to like realize that he's not gonna be a good dad or all that type of stuff. And y'all just know everything.
ESP?
You know, y'all what y'all call it, ESP? You know what I'm saying? Where you can read minds, you know, all this stuff is going on and everything like that. Yeah,
Empathic.
Just all that stuff y'all know until it's time when you should know and then you don't know.
No, that's very true. I'm guilty of that.
I know it.
Denial is like a best friend of mine that I really wasn't trying to be friends with, but she always come around type of thing. And then when you see me, you might see her.
Okay.
That's how me and Denial are, but she ain't supposed to be there.
Well, I ignore red flags. So, because I am a walking red flag myself sometimes. So, I've had to kind of just ignore, in my relationships in the past, I ignored the red flag because I realized I was a big one myself. So, like a literal big red flag, especially when I wore a shirt that was red. So,
Okay.
I could just, I understand how that goes.
I think,
I want to give people chances and just, maybe it's not like that. I mean, bro, she got like 7 kids already.
right, and then like you
5 baby
homeboys
daddies.
with 5 of her baby daddies.
No, I never do that. I don't go behind the homies.
He told you.
I don't go behind the homies. Not at
That's
all.
what y'all say.
I don't go
Let's
behind the
talk-
homies.
Let's talk about it, fellas.
Yes, I don't go behind the homies. Let me tell you something. If my boy has been with somebody 9.7 times out of 10, I'm not going there. If I was single, whatever, no. One of my
22-year-old EJ.
even back then, I didn't participate in the whole, from maybe 18 to 20, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little phase of, you just trying to just run through everything.
Lately, there's been a lot of talk about, everybody wants to talk about relationships. Everybody wants to talk about the problems with relationships. Everybody wants to talk about why relationships are bad. But we need some advocates for success in relationships. We need some people to get these folks to shut up about complaining about the problem and actually turn around and tell us what the solutions are. And I hate to say it, thank you to the pastors and stuff out there that try it, but people don't like listening to y'all because we've been betrayed by a lot of pastors. So it got to be somebody other than them that tells us what we can do, and show us what it looks like to be in a healthy relationship that has ups and downs.
I mean, that's the main thing. Just realizing that there's gonna be ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing perfect. It's gonna be times when you might go through a month stretch where y'all just at it and y'all just ain't feeling each other right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not supposed to be prolonged, and eventually things heal and you come back and whatnot. Not the first sign of trouble, I'm out.
Right.
Nah,
Question. What about when it comes to problem solving in a relationship? Can a person resolve an issue in a relationship on their own? I'll tell you my answer after
You can resolve your issue that you have, like what's a flaw in you, through introspection.
Yes.
Looking inside yourself and changing some things that are problems. But you're not going to be able to change something that, an issue that somebody else has, because that's them. Now you can communicate to them that you have a problem with it, but then they have to receive it, turn it into how they receive it in their own language, and then send it back to you.
Right.
And that's where the problem comes.
Communication. That's called communication, by the way. That's what.
So, well, that's effective communication, but that is the problem. It doesn't be effective. I come at the person normally probably too hard, too hot-headed. So I'm starting off the conversation, even though I might be right.
Right.
I'm starting off saying it in a way that is, the tone is not correct. This is what I want. You know what I'm saying? Even though I should have a right to want that and receive that, but the way that you talk to people a lot of times starts off the communication the wrong way.
Right. You can start off a conversation as though you're talking to your enemy, or you can start off a conversation as though you're talking to your friend, and that will determine what outcome you.
An adult versus a child. See,
that too.
That's a lot. See, I'm used to talking to my children a lot. So then sometimes when something happens split, I'm still in that daddy mode, and so I revert to that, and it's like, I don't know, that's a grown woman. I've got to pull back, even if she is wrong. There's a way to speak to her and say, hey, look, you kind of interrupted me there when I was talking to the kids. I had a great point that I'm trying to make to get them ready for life lessons. I feel like you know, not, why the hell you interrupted me? You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in those two things.
Yeah.
And that's been my biggest flaw. Because if I feel that I'm right, I ain't trying none of that shit. You just
want everything to shut down and do what you said.
Yeah, but I have to learn how to use the same conversational skills that I do when everything is going right and well, and not close off when they don't go well.
Right. That's well said.
But that was part of my trauma, because I would just shut down when all the negativity would come from my mother, and that was how I handled it. I just got to be tough, ignore it, whatever, and do whatever I got to do to get past this day. But that's not how it works when you're married or you're in a relationship where you have people and kids that have to rely on you and things like that. You can't ever really shut down or off.
Right. Agreed. I think a lot of times something that how do I put this? Something that I've noticed is that nowadays there's a lot of men who kind of treat their women as though their women are
beneath them. Go ahead, say it.
I wasn't gonna say
it all the way. Say it all the way. I'm gonna tell you right now, especially all these podcasts and stuff that's out here. These men are treating women as if they're second-class citizens.
Yeah, or as if they're one of their children.
Yeah, and it's bullshit, because first of all, women create life. You know what I'm saying? Well,
we co-create
life, but
and then
we carry the life for much longer than that seed is in me. So you are the womb that the child is in. You have the nurture, and don't even get me started on my black women and melanin and all this other stuff that you put inside the conversation, and where the seed of life actually comes from. Like, you guys are so important. Now, what you have to understand is, though, because of that, and all these podcasts and stuff, and the way that
the minds of our beautiful black men.
Let me. I'm not even going to be careful with this. I'm just going to be real. This probably be the most controversial thing that I say, because as a podcaster, you're like, well, why are you saying that? First of all, everybody don't need a platform, but everybody doesn't need a lot of people have that pain and all those issues, and they never worked them out, and so they never know how to. So they're just going by what they know, and this is what I know: alpha male bullshit, all this stuff, blah blah blah.
All coming from an unhealed heart, an unhealed mind.
And let me tell you something. If you're that person, I'm gonna tell you how you can find out who this person is. They always got to be the loudest one in the room. Okay, that's the first thing, because they're projecting that outside aura to I have to be tough, I have to be louder, I have to be more aggressive to be a man. That is not necessarily what a man is. Okay, because I'm not gonna say real men, but men have an understanding between each other that when you get aggressive like that, anything could possibly happen.
Right.
So you don't really do that most of the time. Even a so-called alpha man understands that at any point of the time something can happen. Anybody can be knocked out at any point in time.
Yeah.
You could just get caught slipping that day. But you got these guys, they're overly aggressive, and they don't understand anybody else's point of view.
They don't receive
at all.
Yeah.
Now there'll be some of the most intelligent men that you can ever be around and stuff like that.
Always thinking.
Very, very smart, cool, all that. It's not a detriment, but they don't understand how to filter other people's opinions in, and that other people can have opinions, and that it's called perspective. There's more than one way to skin a cat. If 1 + 1 = 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 0 + 2 also equals 2.
Right, and 3 - 1
can equal 2.
Yeah.
So there's multiple ways to get to the
same conclusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, your way even might be the most efficient way, but that doesn't devalue someone else's opinion on what you're talking about. And when you're on the podcast and you're by yourself or you with your homeboy, y'all are a think tank that, and this goes for women too. Some of these pink. I'm purple pill. I'm not red pill. I'm not blue
You're like
pill.
a mesh of.
I believe. Yeah, I believe in taking both sides, analyzing them, and finding out which is the best for for that situation.
I like purple.
So I'm more of a purple pill guy when it comes to my podcast. Also, I have women on there all the time because I always want the other perspective. Sometimes I have more women on there because I know I have a dominant personality. So I become more of a moderator, and I'll have 3 women and another man on. I prefer that than any other format.
I can see how that would work, because typically men, I don't know, when I'm in a group, a room of men, and we're having a conversation, me personally, I love having a conversation with anybody, but you can tell once we got to turn around because the train is on the tracks. But you can tell
Columbus, Georgia, the city where they decided to run a train track through downtown, literally.
Yes, in the middle of the road. But don't worry, we also have that in Albany, Georgia. Roosevelt. On Roosevelt, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's in the middle of the road.
Yeah, by that big light.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blackbeards. Shut up.
We just done cut off the other conversation. It's over. Where you going? You gotta go behind me. I'm trying to. You saw him yelling at me? People aren't always yelling at me on the road, but they be yelling at me sometimes.
He was wrong though on that one. So he can yell all he wants to. He was wrong.
Yeah. What we saying? Dang, we was trying to shout out Blackbeards. I don't even.
But before that, we were on the podcast conversation. Everybody should have the podcast.
Yeah, in a room full of men, I really do feel like I like talking to men. I like speaking to men and hearing how they think. Not because they are men. I'm
saying that I prefer, because I don't know. I get it. I'm not trying to get into who's smarter matches and stuff anymore. I did that in my early 20s and mid 20s, and even a little bit like to my late 20s. So it's like I'm done with all of that. I'm here to gain knowledge as well as spit a little something from time to time. So that's my main thing. I love receiving knowledge from people and doing this, talking to different people and getting the different perspectives. That's probably the biggest thing that I've learned over the last 5 years is the perspective point that we brought up earlier. Yeah. That is more than one way, man.
Yeah.
6, somebody looking at a 6, the other way upside down and it looks like a 9 to them from the other side. So it is
perspective matters, and perspective should be respected. And honestly, I spent a lot of time maybe like a year of my life trying to get some people to understand that, hey, I can see your perspective, I can respect your perspective, but I just know that my perspective is this, and that's why I may do things this way. Is because from my perspective, that's what's going to work for me, and from your perspective, it just looks like I'm doing whatever because you haven't tried to understand, and I have tried to explain, but you don't want to listen.
Now, I will say this, put a caveat in there. Now, true facts, okay, are indisputable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, some people try to come with that, well, that's my perspective. No, that's not. That's your opinion that you're giving in the face of facts because you just can't accept it.
Mm-hmm.
But so there's a difference. There's nuances in that. But because some things are just, like I said, 1 + 1 is 2. But yeah, true. You can find it another way. But however, 1 + 1 is still 2. You can't tell me that 1 + 1 is 3. But that's the difference. That's your opinion. That's not perspective. You can go over data and come to different conclusions sometimes. But in general,
opinion based.
Perspective is more of your opinion than the actual facts. You know what I'm saying? Because you're seeing it from your view. But you might not always be able to catch the full
picture.
Yeah. And so you have to, again, that's a little nuance. And it's hard sometimes to pull yourself out of your perspective and just look at it from raw. For instance, some of the stuff that we was getting into was a little too spicy.
Yeah.
Too spicy for some of y'all. So
yeah.
We gonna bring it back a little milder.
Yeah.
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 Throw a little mayo on it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
No.
All right, we're back again, but we're laughing because we just had to do 2 takes because first we were too spicy, and then we tried to water it down and still ended up being too spicy.
Yes.
So I was saying we're gonna put some mayo on it instead of some sriracha. We're gonna water it down a little bit. We're gonna blend it out. Okay.
Make it real bland.
Alrighty then.
Well, so EJ,
What's
first
up?
of all, I just want to say thank you so much for riding with me today. Don't take your seatbelt off yet, because I ain't dropping you off yet.
I wasn't taking off my seatbelt. I'm tightening it up.
Oh, okay.
These wide turns you be making.
I'm making wide turns.
Yeah, man. You be turning like, whew.
Dude, I need positive reviews on my driving.
Oh, I mean,
you can say whatever.
Her driving is 5-star out of 10.
Are you being honest? Though?
I said out of 10.
Out of
You
10?
catch that?
You ain't, that's, what? Right here?
We close enough.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm a superb
It's
driver.
my turn to interview you.
Okay, cool. That works. I'm a great driver for the first question. Thank you. I drive every day.
Yeah, a lot of people do a lot of stuff every day, but they don't really good at it. So look, first of all, I got a shout out. CJ from Monster Music.
Right.
Okay, first of all, he told me, when you're doing this, do you want to be rich or do you want to be just Columbus famous? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to make some money out of this, or you want to be Columbus famous? Which one you want to do? And that got my head right with how I wanted to do my persona and what did I wanted to do, because I'm not looking to be popular, So shout out to those of you who are, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a platform to give my opinions, and I want to be the next Charlamagne the God or the next talk show host that's, the next person that you listen to late night. That's what I want to do. So that's where that comes from. Also, shout out to Chris McClain. He was the first person to ever believe in me about the public speaking, like just out loud. He gave me my first loan, no interest loan, gave me $250 so I could make it to a con. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to make it there on time. And, thank you very, very much, because you believed in me. And my very first con that I did, I had to do by myself. I was in front of 200 people. And I was talking about the differences between Captain America Civil War, and which hadn't came out yet, and Batman versus Superman that already came out. But I had the spoilers and other stuff and do research and all of that, so I was ready for
connections on that.
People that's actually, on the set and things of that nature. So I killed it. They loved it. Most of my theories came true that I was telling them, and that started this whole process about pretty much everything that I'm doing. And thank you very, very much again. Without you, this wouldn't have been possible.
Yes, that's one thing I really love is when somebody can actually invest in you when they see what you're doing and they believe in you enough to be like, not only will I show up for you physically, not only will I show up for you verbally and like boost you up and tell you that you got it, I'm going to put something behind you, and it may not always be necessarily financial, but I had a friend of mine to give me my first microphone. My dad gave me my first one. My friend gave me my second one. And I'm grateful for those things because I was able to record myself.
I'm about to interview you right now.
Oh, thank you to the people that invest in us.
Before I do, though, I need to put something out that I want everybody to hear. Stop blocking people's blessings by giving them false information. Don't block people from what they could be doing because you don't believe in them. Just leave it alone. Sometimes it's best just not to say nothing. If you don't tell somebody that you don't think they can do something or you don't think that it's good, especially if you're not going to finance it, just stay out the way, because we got to stop basically keeping people from getting their blessing. You never know who you can run into, but that person that tells you not to go could have kept you from meeting whoever it is. You could meet Beyonce could be somewhere that you're supposed to go. You never know. And that's your ticket in, or her manager is there or something and hears you sing or something. You never know. So there's people who have made it just off of chance, just off of being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
So let people do what they do, and let's stop always telling everybody that they can't do something or that's not going to be worth it and da-da-da-da-da, because it's a large amount of millionaires in Columbus, Georgia.
Really is.
But that's due to Thesis, Synovus, Aflac, those families, that type of stuff. But when it comes to this entertainment stuff and all of this, let people do what they do. But now to the interview. I want to know this about you. How did you start? How did you get into to singing? Because I know you from singing first.
That's what I do. That's what I am first. That's what I got into singing. It really just came authentically. I can't remember even like when I was like 5 or whatever. Me and my sister would just be randomly making songs. We'll hear songs, we like them, we'll sing that song. We'll be really into just creating our own songs. So we had a song called Butterfly that maybe had like 10 verses. Can't remember none of them.
So you wasn't doing the right format, but
we was not. We was 16 bars. What is that? What is a chorus? But the songs just went on and on and on. And then, what really got me into like songwriting and stuff was a bout of depression that I had back in 2007 when I was in the 6th grade, because I was in the 6th grade from 2007 to 2008. And my sister was writing poetry, and she was like, "You want to write some poetry?" She I was depressed, but I knew I was depressed. And so I was like, yeah, let me do that. And I started writing poetry, but it wound up being a song that I made. And the song is too sad for me to sing it, but it's playing in my head right now. And I started with that song, and then I started to keep a song book, and I just would write songs all the time, especially in, like just in times when I was sad or super excited. It was always the extremes. It was never the calm.
Okay.
When I was growing up. That's how I got into it. Then I was in chorus. From chorus, I wound up doing a lot of performances in Albany and at the church. And I don't know if all this is what you wanted to know.
I want to know about this live that you did against another young lady.
Oh Lord, y'all. It's on Facebook. I did a versus. I did a versus, and I'm not playing when I say at this exact moment, I can't remember her name. Dominique Roberts. There we go. Dominique Roberts. I did a versus against her. You'll have to find it on
How did this come about? Or why did it come about?
In 2012. I was like a sophomore, but I would always sing the national anthem at everything, and I wanted to sing the national anthem at the graduation because to me that was a major thing. I wanted to do it, so I did. I sung.
You should have as a sophomore. You didn't tell me you was a sophomore.
I was a sophomore.
That should have been the senior.
I sung the national anthem. That's what they said, and that's why we had the verses, because supposedly sophomores ain't supposed to do that, but I did that as a sophomore, as a junior, and as a senior. Like I sung the national anthem at my sister's graduation.
Okay, now.
I did that.
So she got mad. She got upset.
She did.
And then what happened?
Then she wouldn't talk to me. Like we was cool before that.
Okay.
But years later, back in 2020, she made a post. Even though we're Facebook friends, she made a post and was like, "Hey, I can't remember that girl that sung the national anthem at our graduation, but I want to do a versus. Somebody tag her." And I just commented myself because I was just like, "But you know me, we Facebook friends. Like
I'm here."
Like yeah, I was like, "Here I am. I'll do
up?
it with you. I'll do it with you." I drove up to Atlanta.
So she wanted that smoke.
It wasn't even like that. Much love, because she still supports me now. I drove up to Atlanta. It went well. I'll insert a clip of me singing Whipped Cream or something.
So, who won? Say it. Who won?
I love everybody.
Who won?
I won.
Okay, there we go. About to say this hot seat takeover right now.
I won. I came out the gate with it. But only because I still sing. I don't know if she still sings.
I mean, if she gonna challenge you, I hope she was.
But I mean, I think a lot of people look at the things that they were passionate about in high school and they don't cultivate them into adulthood. They let them die because in their mind, that's childish stuff. Having dreams is childish.
Well, I mean, singing is something that obviously can be transferred to an adult. But some of the things I was good at as a child, and some of those games are literally games. Like you don't get paid for playing jacks. You know what I mean?
What is
like
jacks?
Don't worry about it. I'm
With
showing my
and
age.
the
Yeah,
thing?
the little things. You
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
bounce and
definitely
then-
not.
Yeah,
No.
so just some of that stuff is like nah.
Okay, I was thinking video games. Because like you
Well,
get paid on video games.
You can. Shout out to my son trying to be a pro gamer.
Shout out
bro.
to his son.
No, bro.
Shout out to Twitch.
But
What you mean no? You killing his dream?
hey man, get the followers first before you try to do that. You gotta actually be good though. If I can still beat you, you ain't there yet. Yeah.
All right. Well.
Once you can be dad, then you can become Twitch streamer, all you want to do.
Or your niche could be that you suck and everybody can relate to you and go off of that. And like this is the stream for if you wanna yell with me at other players and scream when you're not supposed to scream while playing games, because that's what I used to do.
Yeah, but every now and then somebody gonna want you to be able to
win
complete
something. But that's the
we'll
thing.
never get to see the end of the game with you. Like never.
You know,
It's
what you
no
get to see?
walkthrough.
You get to see the menu all the time.
Yeah,
You'll get
okay.
to know the character select real good.
Okay.
All the weapon selections, you get to know that. You know everything on there.
You know what? I might
Except for the
actually
stuff that you
pitch.
can't
I might actually pitch that.
I'm saying it's a good.
I'm going to steal this idea. I just want to let you know. So when you look back at this, I'm going to take this to somebody. I just want to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't do it, I'm gonna give you 30 days. I'm taking this to somebody.
You can't copyright things like this, but I just want to say this was my idea. Speaking of people's ideas, I know you're interviewing me right now, but I just want to say that this traffic jam would not have been a thing if it was not for the creative mind of Mr. EJ. If it was not for Mr. EJ Thomas.
Let me say this. Let me go back. I've watched 3 of the cartoon videos, and I said she has a nice voice. And her editing skills are very good, and I like what she does. she should just throw somebody else in the seat going back and forth, and she could just do interviews for different people in the city, and bam, just like it's a guy named James something that does this. It's like an actual TV show.
Oh yeah, the car karaoke.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So kind of build off of that, and voila, and we're here. And it don't take all day for a vision either. It don't take 6 months to do all this planning and all that. Get out there, do it, see how it is. She's gonna edit this up. Hopefully y'all like it. If you do, continue to tune in to her, and also tune into the hot seat when we have it. Go to YouTube. Also go to my page. You can either find it on EJ Thomas on Facebook or the hot seat with EJ Thomas. I have our own page for the for it on there for the podcast. Now, my last question for you is going to be this. If you could do a song with someone local and a big time person who's already made it, you get one male and one female on each side.
Okay. Local, Levon Mitchell. Damn, what if I got his last name wrong? I just threw that out there.
To my Love Vine.
Levon.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I think that's his last name. Then, see, for the women, there's a lot. By the way, I've already worked with local artists. One
who you haven't worked with already. They don't need to know what you got in the tank.
Yes,
yeah.
No, the plan. I guess it would be between. It's real hard local because I love my people.
Don't worry about hurting no feelings. Look, if you get in this game, you gonna have to. You can't be worried about hurting people's feelings. You gotta say what you gotta say. You gotta get on in and out.
Oh, okay. Cappy.
Cool.
Miss LaKendra.
Kendra Huckabee, aka Gappy.
Yeah.
All right, now, major players that are already official signed contracts, like big names.
Rappers or singers.
Whatever. One apiece. One male, one female.
I don't know how it would work out, but Doja Cat.
How did I not know?
You already knew I was gonna say that. I said that in every interview. I even did an interview with Queen a few months ago, and I said Doja Cat. It's gonna always it's Doja Cat forever. Oh, I don't like sounding like a fan, but I'm a fan. And for the males, I really don't know. I don't have one because I feel like with men. Oh, Tank.
When we touch, when we. Okay.
That's him. Before he goes deaf because he's losing his hearing.
Never mind. Tank a freak. That's all I'm gonna say.
I heard about what happened between him and one girl.
Tank is with it. Just know. You getting the full package. This is what he has said. He do from the rooter to the tutor. I'm gonna leave it like that.
Oh Lord. I just want to make a song with him because I love his voice. It just sounds so beautiful.
My favorite song of his is not even a real song. It's when he was on the 85 South.
Oh.
What is it? Somebody going back to church or something. I don't know.
I didn't watch it. I didn't see
oh
it.
my God, that song! I was like, y'all doing this off the top of the dome?
Right. My favorite thing that he ever did was at the end of Aaliyah's "Come Over" when he's going.
What made you like that?
Oh, it just felt really soothing to the ear.
The harmony hit a certain harmony on there that just made you feel some type of way.
No, it resonated with me.
With your soul.
It felt. People ain't going.
It could be spiritual.
It resonated just with the deepest parts of my soul. It just felt good.
She said deep too. I just want to let y'all know that.
It was. It just. He did a good job. I bet. He did a good job.
So in my time working with K92.7, I was introduced to a lot of his recent works, and going back into the volume. So I got a lot of respect for him.
Okay.
Just saying, I feel y'all on that. I feel you.
Definitely.
Now, my personal artist that I would love to work with, because I've done music before or whatever.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we
didn't even talk about that.
So, but I'm gonna say back then it would have been Ludacris.
When I move you.
Now it's be J. Cole.
Okay. Damn.
And then
I'm talking about Tank.
And then singers, it would be Janelle Monáe. I'm a big her fan. I mean, not her, but I'm a big fan of Janelle.
Yeah, I love Janelle Monáe.
And Lauryn Hill, old school, older.
I don't know.
So I would have Luda and Lauryn Hill on the track with me in old school, and I would have J. Cole and Janelle Monáe, and I would be more like a
I just want to point out he limited my selection, and then he proceeded to choose 4 of his own.
You did too. Oh, I did do local. My bad.
But go ahead.
My bad.
These your rules. This your game.
Local, I'm gonna work with J Biggs.
Who's that?
Is a rapper, local rapper, and does I'm 300 pounds. I ain't finna run, and so I identify with that song a lot. Obviously. Let's see, and then I'm gonna say I gotta steal Gappy from you. The total talent that you could hit any type of genre, jazz, rap, hip hop, soul music, stuff like that, and then Dottie.
I have not worked with Dottie yet. I've only seen her perform one time. Like I was doing something else. Like I saw her performing, because I was just there, but I didn't get to indulge in them.
Well, check it out. Heat Wave, stuff like that. Good song. So that concludes my part of the interview. The hot seat part is done. We're back to...
Actually, speaking of a hot seat, I would love to come on.
Okay.
To the hot seat.
No problem. We're probably going to film one this weekend if you want to come up to Jonesboro.
I'm going to be in Atlanta this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because I have a show.
Okay. What time do you have the show on Saturday?
It's the full day because it's a professional show. So we got to practice, record videos and everything. I will be posting the videos. It's going to be real music videos. I'm the background vocalist.
No problem. But we'll also be coming up weekend after that then also. So if you want to come up and be on the show.
I'm not afraid to drive.
So it's no problem. A lot of times we carpool anyway, just like we doing now, have these same conversations going up, so we be ready.
Who we riding with? Who driving?
Not you. I'm saying.
Why would you say that?
You drive very well. You drive very well.
I do. We didn't hit nothing. So this has been our first traffic jam. Thank you so much, EJ, for coming.
No problem. I enjoyed myself, and as you know, like we said earlier, you can always come on to the hot seat anytime you want. Hey, thank you very much, but I got to get back to these kids, so I'm gonna holler at you.
Thank you for coming on the show. I wanted to give you this cologne. He chose Man. Okay.
Because I am one.
Because he is one.
A full-grown one too. Remember that.
Don't forget it. Make sure you check out Chi Chi Essence. Get something for yourself. And thank y'all again for watching the show.
We out.
We out.
Chauntoria.